the devil doesn't treat his servants right. And what ends up happening is that he will deceive many by taking them to the very highest positions within his realm, whether that is the entertainment, music industry, media, all of that. He'll take them to the very top and then tear them down when he doesn't need them anymore.
Yeah! Subscribe! And thumbs up! Like and subscribe!
Yeah, tell them like and subscribe.
It's your sister.
I'm going to be laying down biblical foundation for this word at this time. First off, we're going to start with Mark 8:36. For what will it profit a man if he gains the whole world and loses his own soul? I'm going to be speaking to what we're seeing in subliminals and a lot of symbolism when it comes to certain films. They are alluding to certain key figures that have, been put in a very public position, but as I mentioned, they take them to the very highest, but then snatch it all away, throw it all away. And this is how the enemy deceives many people. Okay, and sometimes they may have a longer stint for whatever reason, but the enemy always comes to collect the same servants that he uses. There is also a reference to the film Blink Twice. I'm going to be covering this in sort of like a series because it's heavy with so many different things. But the name of the main villain, Slater King, to me just is symbolism for slay the king. And when we think about the king in regard to entertainment, there's one that comes to mind. I don't need to say his name, but you get the gist of who is the king of the industry that is being publicly lynched. And again, he is mainly doing a lot of the things that a lot of other people are doing, whether it is hidden or the things are not put out there to the public, but he is being the front man for the fall because a lot of them are engaging in the same things, whether they're willing or unwilling participants. Okay, I'm not here to judge, but just to shed light on the truth as I see it, and why we need to be careful of being deceived into admiring certain things, but we don't realize that it comes with the fall. It comes with them actually utilizing you for whatever agenda and then throwing you away. Let's decipher even the term slay when it comes to the villain name in Blink Twice is Slater King. Slay the king. Slay means to unalive something in a violent way. Okay, and also slay has been reversed and being used as a sort of expression of somebody that is greatly impressive, someone that amuses a lot of people. And in both aspects, this is what we're seeing happening with this particular figure. All right. Also, I'm going to get into why, as somebody that may be deemed powerful, put in a position of being powerful, also when it comes to the film Blink Twice, the owner, Slater King, his company name was King Tech. Now, that also alludes to King Tut. Okay, so somebody that was also powerful, but at the same time was involved in things that caused the decline of a civilization. Okay, another thing too is that what we see in the theme of Blink Twice is, he bought his own private island so that his inner circle would have a remote place that, the laws of man had no grounds. Okay, people could scream, and if they were in danger, they could blink twice and nothing would happen. And also the use of certain substances in order to completely wipe people of their memory to the point where they're engaging in constant situations of degradation, of depravity, and their memory was not recalling it. Okay, so this commitment to being a part of like humiliation rituals, to be a part of the so-called inner circle that was getting off on not only circulating different substances and potions. Okay, this is a form of witchcraft, truly, and it's something that for some reason at this time they're punishing those that have had a key role in putting this stuff out here. And so let's go ahead and get further into this message, because the dangers of worldly fame is really evident. Okay, the Most High does not want us to suffer, but at the same time we have to understand too that when we engage ourselves with things of darker elements, we are allowing ourselves to be made a fool of. We're allowing ourselves to also be discarded and destroyed after they're finished using us. All right, and so another thing too I want to share is in regard to the cover-ups and these elite groups. Okay, there's a lot of deeper operations that are at hand, and Spirit is wanting me to share this particular message at this time, because as we're beginning to see the rise and the fall, a lot of fallout when it comes to the hidden hands, when it comes to the elites. This is something that has been happening for a very long time. And although many of these people have built up a reputation of being influential, being a good person, being very talented, ultimately they will be discarded and they will be destroyed by the same ones that utilize them to bring forth indoctrination and continuous cycles of depravity. All right. Another thing too I want to share is that even when it alludes to the film Blink Twice, there was signs too of cover-ups. Okay, things that were being burned. Okay, they alluded to that a couple of times about burning things down, in order to kind of cover their tracks and to continue what they were doing. And I also want to keep in mind that this isn't just a gender thing. This isn't just a man versus woman and all this stuff is happening to women, because there were male victims involved in this too. And we have to realize too that the corruption runs very deep, but there are consequences for all of this. And this is why a lot of things are happening right now, because the fall of Babylon is inevitable. And many of us are becoming aware that we are in the end times. We are in the beginning of the time of sorrows. And the Bible warns against idolizing people and worldly success for these very reasons. Also in Psalm 146:3, it says, "Do not put your trust in princes and human beings who cannot save." So this phenomenon is reminiscent to King Nebuchadnezzar. Okay, he was the Babylonian king who built a golden statue and he commanded people to worship it. Okay, that was referenced in Daniel 3. And so like modern celebrities, he basks in the admiration of people. But as with all false idols, the same society that lifts up these entertainers, artists, can turn on them in an instant. And simple operations are at hand when it comes to the elite and when it comes to the hidden hand. So as long as, people associate the highest level of power with these certain key figures, when it comes to music, when it comes to business, even when it comes to politics, and I intend to say it that way, the allegations against these people are patterns that have been continued, and both males and females are contributing to these things happening. Alright? And so the sudden nature of the cancel culture, or things are being exposed, is just forthcoming. They are still, in essence, trying to constantly cover up truth. And so as we move further into this, the devil does not treat his servants right. And so it is illogical to think that you can play these vicious games, that you could, enjoy tearing people apart, harming people, terrorizing people, and at some point that same hand is not going to turn on you. And so as unfavorable as these things are, this is a reality of what we're seeing come to pass in regard to the scandals, the allegations, the smear campaigns. Okay, all these things are systems of Babylon that are coming to a fall, and we're seeing this in real time. The deception of the enemy is that they will give you whatever it is that you may desire, whatever it is that you feel is going to be contentment to your heart. And what ends up happening is that many entertainers artists, they begin to experience a similar betrayal that they may have committed against others. The industry builds them all the way up. And when they begin to step out of line or assert some type of boundaries, they find them useless in the end. Their usefulness has ran out, and then they discard and even destroy them. But this is a warning for those of you that realize what you're seeing in the aspect of the fall of this Babylonian empire in the form of a lot of these entertainment executives. A lot of these things are coming to pass because the devil does not treat his servants fairly. This is a very dangerous thing to get involved with. Alright, and we have to also understand, according to Mark 8:36, definitely got to reiterate this particular scripture, for what will it profit a man if he gains the whole world and loses his own soul? So just as many entertainers fall into different destructive lifestyles, okay, when it comes to immorality, when it comes to being prideful, thinking that you're untouchable, you're going to be touched, okay? And often, because of the industry rewarding the most depraved behaviors, okay, at some point they're going to no longer find them beneficial, and they're going to cycle out and bring in more people. So if you allow yourself to be deceived in thinking that if you're participating in ruining others, and at some point this is not going to happen to you, you're deceiving yourself. The greatest deception is self-deception. And also I want to share that there is only one lasting foundation, and that is the foundation of the Most High, Yeshua, Jesus Christ. Another thing too is the amount of blasphemy that goes on when it comes to those that are workers of iniquity, those that are the front men and women of the hidden hands of the enemy, is that they feel as if they could dibble and dabble in things of the occult, that they could engage in things that are causing harm to others, but at the same time they can try to, when it's convenient, speak about God. You cannot serve two masters. Either you will exalt one or hate the other. And so this whole story that we're beginning to see when it comes to the industry, okay, being built up and then inevitably being torn down by the elite, is a cautionary tale. You do not have to experience things. You can observe what happens to others and realize that can befall on you. The only true security that you may have when it comes to life, when it comes to fame, when it comes to wealth and power, is to trust in the Most High God and to avoid those avenues, avoid those things that are being paraded as a sign, a marker of success. Okay, the Most High God wants you to remain true, remain faithful to what He's calling you to see. And you are meant to see this message at this time. Okay, there is an intention to slay the king, even as they spoke about Slater King and blinked twice. Okay, so instead of chasing fleeting success or some level of escapism through partying, through all these things, know that when you're rooted in the foundation of the Most High Christ, Yeshua, the Elohim, that's the only foundation that cannot be shaken. Also, 1 John 2:17 says, "The world and its desires pass away, but whoever does the will of God lives forever." And that word is true.